We're almost there. Thank you so much for joining me, though. It means the absolute world. Let's just check I've done this correctly and I've got everything set up nicely. And I've got to press the big button that says go live, which is always a good start. So for those of you who are new, I am Lucy. I own an accountancy practice. But today I want to spend some time with you guys to actually get rid of some of our quick wins, to set some intentions for the week and to get prepared. So thank you so much for joining me. My first time ever on a TikTok live over here, and I am streaming to some other platforms over here as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate it. And I think we're ready to get going, which is always nice. Now, before we start, what I want you to think is, right, the weekend's over. We've reflected on the weekend. You might have had a lovely weekend, relaxing, whatever. Now it's time, heads down. You might have already worked most of the day and things are starting to slip already, probably. You know, you don't know what you want to achieve. So this is a great moment to say, right, we're going to get enough work completed today. We're going to get the quick wins out of the way. We're going to make sure our inbox is as clear as possible and we have a very, very clear direction of where we want to be going. So without further ado, please do let me know in the comments, what are your quick wins? Now, do you have emails that you could quickly respond to? I don't know about you, but I think in my head of a response. I basically respond in my head, and then I just don't respond, and I'm always annoyed. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can see that. I am not used to TikTok Live. I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. Getting there. So if you don't know, there was like emojis going here, there, and everywhere, which I'm really not used to. Anyway, point is, we are going to get rid of some of those quick wins. So let me know, what's a quick win for you? Is it some emails that you know you just need to read and then archive them or file them or whatever? Are there things that you just need to file and sort out? Are there tasks that you need to put on your to-do list ready for the rest of the week? So just have a look. Look at all your tasks. Look at maybe your notifications. I don't know about you, but on my phone, there's loads of notifications that I can swipe because they are a load of rubbish. Why do I leave them? I don't know. Let's not leave them today. So today is the day we're going to actually get onto this. So without further ado, what I want you to do is I want you to go into your inbox and start to categorize things, start to get rid of things, and just start to declutter some of the mess. So this is an active session for you to go through and start to organize things. So maybe you want to open up your personal inbox. Maybe it's your work inbox. Whatever it is, I want you to have a look and go, right, what needs to be sorted? What do I need to just read and then archive? What do I need to actually get done that I keep saying that I need to get done? Maybe it's been on your list for a while. Also, this is a really good reminder to you all. You need to get drinking some water. So if you haven't already got a drink, leave your phone there. It will stay there. It's fine. I'm still going to be here. Run to that kitchen and get yourself a glass of water. Super important. I'm going to be glugging away. I think this is my last little bit of water for the day. And then I would have had, maybe I've got I've got another 500 ml or 450 ml in there. And then I would have done 3 litres today. So super, super important. There's no excuses. If I can do it, you guys can too. If you don't already know, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge. So that's why I'm drinking loads of water. Already done my first workout of 45 minutes today. Got another one today. And I'm eating super, super healthy. So I'm feeling really energized from it all, to be honest. But how are you all feeling? Is it a good day? Put a little thumbs up if you're having a lot of energy today. I know if I eat a load of rubbish, I come in and always just the energy just dips. But yeah, when you're feeling good, always good. So yeah, just have a little look through your emails, see if there's anything you can get rid of. just take some time, whether that's personally or professionally. Just take some time to make sure you go through it all. So for me at the moment, I'm going through some personal emails, some things I want to look at, make sure that I've read everything. And sometimes it is just a skim read, but it's just making sure that you're feeling happy with where you are. There's nothing worse than going on your phone and seeing a bunch of emails. So are there any notifications as well that you can get rid of? And not just get rid of, but actually stop happening again. I don't know about you, but I used to have Facebook notifications. They used to notify me of like everything everyone else did all the time. It used to drive me mad because I don't care about what Bob, who I met years ago, is saying. Do you know what I mean? So super, super important. Making sure that you change your notifications. And how is everyone on this live stream as well? Tell me what you're doing, what you're going through, whether that's personal. Sorry, I haven't quite been looking at this one in front of me. It's always good to have a look. But thanks for saying hi, guys. Cool. How many emails can you get rid of in this time? That is the question. How many can you move? Get sorted and prepared. There's nothing better than getting organised. Okay. Now, I've gone through one inbox, which is my personal. Now, what we want to do is go through our inbox at work. So for me, one of my inboxes is pretty much clear, so I'm very happy with that. Another inbox is getting really, really low, which is fantastic. Are there a few emails I can respond to? And can we send them like a Calendly link so that they can obviously be booking themselves in for clients or for people that we want to work with? It's ridiculous what we leave. So just getting those last little emails sent out before we move on. And if you've already done that, I want you to start thinking what you want to achieve this week. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat both sides. And let's see, what do you want to achieve this week? Do you all work for other companies? Do you work for yourself? Put it in the chat, let me know. And I'm curious, is anyone else doing the 75 hard, or do they think I'm absolutely crazy? Well, nobody said I'm mad yet, which is always a good start. I don't know about you, but in our industry, I work in accountancy. So in my industry, it's something we do a lot is tracking time. So for me, I'm putting down my admin time that I've worked on today and making sure I tick that off, ready for tomorrow. It's just one of those little things that some industries love time tracking and others just absolutely hate it. Okay, so if nobody has any ideas of what they want to get started on this week, I am going to talk about what I absolutely love because it's my job. It's all about finances, but I'm here to talk about the more fun side of things. So talking about financial habits, bookkeeping, making sure that we're on top of things, right? So we've gone through our emails, everything's clear, we're feeling really good about the week. Let's get started on the important stuff. So, do you have accounting software first off? If anyone here has accounting software, do please let me know. An important question to ask is, what accounting software are you on first and foremost? Pop it in the comments. I think what we'll do is we'll probably start off on Xero and then we'll go from there. And also, do you use any kind of receipt capture tool? So do you use Dext? Do you use HubDoc? Anything like that is a really good sort of receipt capture tool. So I'm just logging in. And we just want to make sure that we feel really, really comfortable logging in, knowing how to get into these things, doing it on a regular basis, even if you're just literally popping in there, and making sure that you feel really, really good, up to date, know what's going on, things like that. So without further ado, let's hop into Xero. If we can get in, because I know they've had loads of technical problems. Okay, we're in. Always a good start. Oh, there's loads of technical problems today. Second attempt seems all right though, so it's all good. Right. So I'm just going to go down my list and I'm just going to make sure everything is as up to date as possible. So the way we start with bookkeeping, we always start with all of the receipts and invoices, getting them into the system. So when we're talking about invoices and receipts, you want to be thinking about a receipt capture tool such as Dext or HubDoc. So if you go into your accounting, into your software, what you need to do is you need to go through every single receipt and invoice that you've got, and you need to make sure that it's coded to the correct places. So for instance, you might have some juice and stuff if you are in the construction industry scheme, like in the construction industry, sorry. You might have, can you hear me okay on TikTok, by the way? Very aware that might be covering my mic. Just give me a thumbs up if you can, maybe double tap. And if you can give me a rose, even better. This here is really cool. It's my first ever live, so any kind of support is much appreciated. So first off, we want to go through, you're going to go through all of your invoices and receipts, okay? Whether this is paper-based or whether it's online. Now, if it's paper-based, you need to think about getting it electronically somewhere. Because you want to be able to store them well, you want to be able to code them on your accounting software. There is nothing worse than manually copying something from here onto Sage, say, and then copying all the information, not having the link, so not even having a picture attached to that. It just doesn't work. We don't want that. We want everything married together and working nicely. Then, when it's in the system, we want things coded correctly. So I live on the Isle of Wight. We get a lot of boats. So you might see boats going through travel. You might have like Juicens invoices and things like that. Again, as I say, if you are in the construction industry, this is a normal sort of direct expense. It's very normal to see. You might also be thinking, right, well, do I have tax on that or not? So with travel, most of the time you won't have tax, but this depends. You know, if you're not VAT registered, you don't need to worry about VAT anyway. So we want to go through and make sure if you're not VAT registered, everything is not showing VAT on it. We shouldn't be claiming VAT back on any expenses. If not, if you are VAT registered, you need to be triple checking things. For instance, Meta and Facebook, you know, all those things, they don't fall under what you would expect them to fall under. So there's a lot of companies that actually fall under the reverse charge. So again, little silly things, but people make those mistakes and then an investigation sparked. So you just don't want to be making those mistakes if you can help it. So checking in, making sure that the VAT is accounted for correctly. You know, you might have vehicle expenses. So you might have direct expenses, just making sure that everything's in there. So just go through with a fine tooth comb. Are you happy with the VAT? Are you happy where it's being coded? Is it the correct supplier? You know, things like that. Just go through and just check that you're happy with everything. This has become a little bit of a financial health check, but let's just do it. Let's just get into it. So log into your accounting software, log into your receipt capture tool, and let's get ahead. So we want to push through any expenses that are going to make a big difference. Every little bit makes a big difference. It's going to make a big difference to whether we can reconcile the bank or not, right? So just go through, right. Have you got staff expenses, staff welfare expenses, things like that? That's really, really important and very overlooked. You know, if you've got like a Tesco expense, is it fuel? Is it food? You know, like subsistence on the go from your traveling, or you know, what is it? So that's really important. You establish whether it's food or sort of what it is. So make sure if it's motor vehicle expenses, it's going to motor vehicle expenses. Oh, thank you. This is my first ever TikTok live, so please do bear with me. But I'm also recovering from being a little bit poorly, so my voice is still not quite there, but we're getting there. So yeah, just make sure we're pushing through as much information as possible, and ask any questions. Please ask them. Ask anything. One thing that people ask me a lot is about car parking fees. These do sometimes have VAT on them, but they don't always. So double check. If it's not showing it, you can't put VAT on it. Sometimes they have a VAT number and you can look into it and they're okay. But they will always go down as motor vehicle expenses. But if in doubt, ask your accountant, because they're really important. And one thing that is really, really important is if you're in the construction industry that you're putting things through the construction industry scheme, you're deducting CIS and all of that. And if you're not part of any of that, please ignore me and tell me to shut up, because how was the granola? I love that. It was really good. It was really, really good. Yeah, enjoyed it far too much. It really filled me up a lot. I literally had the bowl that I showed in the video, and I haven't eaten since. I'm still full. I thought I was going to go out there for seconds, but I haven't yet. So that's always a win. So some of my clients have service-based businesses, and other clients have service-based businesses, and others have product-based businesses. So it's really, really interesting as I flick from one to another. Excuse me. The difference. Do my best not to die on live. So yeah, it's really interesting. You see some who are buying loads of their products and it's incredible. We obviously have to make sure product purchases are going down as a direct expense. Your direct expenses, I would always make sure that you're splitting them out for something that makes sense to you, right? I would never bunch my direct expenses to a code called direct expenses, right? I just would never do that. I've got a stupid fly in my room. It's what I call, the fly is what I call a lazy fly, right? You know those flies that just go really slowly and they're like just half dead or whatever. And it's just going really slowly. It's very irritating. So I'm just looking into some expenses. Right. So there's some that is really interesting. Some invoice, like receipts, come through without the company's name on it. So it will have your own name on it basically as the company. And it's really frustrating because you're like, where is this from? And they just have not put their name on it at all. So you have to be a mind reader and work it out, which is fine because most of the time I can work it out anyway. I've seen it come from somewhere anyway. And a lot of them will be like statements and things like that. But yeah, it's just making sure like there's service charges on there. Are they including VAT or not? We've just got to make sure that the VAT is broken down correctly, which it is. Luckily for us, we use really good software. When you use really good software, it's like, oh, don't want that one. That's a statement. Yeah, sorry. When you use really good software, it picks up on these things for you. So it will tell you if something's a statement. It will tell you, if it's a load of rubbish, basically. But as it says there, this is my debut live. It's my first ever live. I can't believe it. But I'm going with it because I don't even have 1,000 followers yet. So if you can follow me up here somewhere, probably here, I would really, really appreciate it. I don't know even how I've been allowed to do my first ever live, but I'm going with it. I'm just going through. I'm really happy with loads of these invoices. The rest will be going in the bin pile. Oh, a bit of Morrison's. So some people buy food and drink and stuff as well. As long as you're traveling, that is classed as sort of travel and subsistence, so it's fine. But just make sure you're not doing your weekly food shop or, just going to go and buy a bit of food and think you can put it through the business. Sometimes you can, but, you've got to really know the rules. Let's have a look. So, where were you? What were you doing? It's a bit of investigation skills as well, my job. It's quite interesting. I'm smashing my first live. Thank you. Thanks, Max. It's not my first live actually on like live in general. So I've gone live on YouTube. If you're not already following my YouTube channel, please do go and check it out because I'm really putting a lot of effort into my YouTube. It's just at simplex-accounting. So do go and find me, but don't leave me here. So yeah, go and find me on YouTube. I've been doing it on YouTube. I've been doing it on Instagram. So I've got 2 Instagram accounts. I've got simplex_account_. It's not underscore. Simplex-accounting. And I've also got my personal Instagram, which you're welcome to come and follow. It is I am Lucy Johnson, because I am Lucy Johnson. So come along and follow me. Where else am I? I'm on LinkedIn, where Max has found me. So hi, Max. But yeah, I'm just trying to share some tips that are going to help you sort of cut down on your bookkeeping and hopefully get a little bit ahead. People on TikTok are asking me about my granola because I made some healthy granola this morning. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing the 75 Hard Challenge, and today is day 1, literally day 1. Nearly finished my 3 litres of water already, which I can't believe it. Oh, and by the way, it's in my zero cup, so I'm very happy about that. I'm glad you found that funny, Max. Right. Oh no, did I just close it when I wasn't supposed to? By the way, helpful tip for anyone who closes their tabs like I do on a regular basis. Control, Shift and T, game changer. So if you close your tabs accidentally, it basically brings every single tab up that you closed accidentally. It's just the best thing I've ever learned. My previous employee who just left us recently taught me it, and I remember just being like, sorry, what? It was the best day ever. So back to bookkeeping. Let me just explain a few more tips to you. So I'm gonna go through some of these because so confirmations, so like, you know, if you've got a confirmation from you know, when you get a parcel, you got the confirmation thing, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see stock confirmations. I don't want to see statements unless it's difficult to reconcile. You've paid loads, you're doing it all wonky, fine, statements are fine. Or you're missing a lot of invoices because you're buying a lot. That makes sense. But stock confirmations, as far as I'm concerned, they can go in the bin. Not literally, just archive them in your receipt capture tool. I'm just going to go through and just get rid of a load because we want it to be super up to date. I don't want pre-order confirmations. I don't want any of it really. We want it as clean and beautiful as possible. So it's just about getting as many quick wins out the way as possible. There is no point procrastinating on this stuff because you're just going to feel so much better when it's clear. Literally have people procrastinating on stuff, like hundreds and hundreds of items in there. Can I speak? Hundreds and hundreds of items in their bank to be reconciled, and actually half of the year was like basically not in their accounting period. They didn't even need them. They've been worrying, and I just came along and I was like, cool, we can get rid of 800, bang. And they were just like, what? So things like that is always just lovely, because why are we procrastinating and worrying? Let's just sit, think about it. Right, we don't need that, let's get rid. Always work on the quick wins first. Get rid of all the clunk. That's what I say. Like in emails, sometimes it's just like a load of like blur. Smash out the ones you can and then move on. So I've got a few more here that I just want to get coded because I'm really happy with them. Really happy with the VAT. That is not fuel, so I'm going to chuck it to subsistence. Oh no. So this is where I would then set up a code for that. So I'll come back to that. And why is this one in review? Because it's a load of rubbish. Now, if you've got a good software, for instance, if you've got like Dex set up, then basically you can set parameters in the background, which I've now set up, where you can stop it from pulling in things like your statements, etc., etc. It will flag every single one of them and basically say, this is a load of rubbish, you don't want to see it. So it always frees up your time as well. So let me just go back to my home screen. Don't know about you, but I love to keep track of everything. So what we measure, we can manage. So for me, it's all about making sure that in an accountancy practice, everything is timed. And it's not just timed because we're being weird. It's timed because we can then see how long did this take? You know, was it profitable? And sort of go from there. Now, when I can find it, let me just go to my bookkeeping. So as part of your bookkeeping, you could have a task and you could literally separate the task by, when it loads, why is it not loading? You want to be able to split your bookkeeping down. So whether that's take photos of my receipts and invoices, the next step might be code them in my receipt capture tool and make sure the correct VAT is applied, whether that's no VAT or all VAT, and then push them into my accounting software. And from there, maybe you do approvals, maybe you don't, maybe it's just you and you approve everything and that's fine. Whether you then pay things or not, so you need to work that out. Or whether once they come into your receipt capture, they've already been paid and therefore they're going straight in. So yeah, you need to decide. Bear with me a second while I try and get into, why is that not loading? It's just really not having any of it today, is it? Let's try it again on a different tab. Press on that one. Come on. Yes, it's loaded. I opened a new tab. Don't know how that helped, but we'll roll with that. Oh, it really is taking a long time to load today, and I don't have patience. Here we go. Okay, so some of the things I want to tick off aren't there, which is lovely, but it's fine. So let's chuck a few minutes on some of these tasks. And then we will nearly be there. So we want to just basically keep on top of things as much as possible. Thought the postwoman was coming then. No post for me. Haven't been ordering anything. Okay. So next up, who have I got? We don't do that bookkeeping. Oh, do you ever? You probably don't, but obviously as an accountant, you sometimes get it where we don't do the bookkeeping. We do the bookkeeping for most people, but we don't do the bookkeeping for, say, one person. And it's just getting a bit high, that number. And I think, oh, I really want to do that bookkeeping, but I can't. They don't pay us for it, so they're not allowed it. Okie dokie. We've only got 2 others, which I'm pretty happy with. So let's hop in here. So remember, if you've got any Tesco's, Sainsbury's, etc., what are you buying? Has it got VAT on it? Something worse when you can't see the VAT on things. Also, you'll see with VAT, things are coded. So you might see like A and B, A, B, A, B, or whatever. You get all sorts of different things for different companies. So you've got to really know what you're looking for, I guess. Or you might see a number, but be careful because sometimes the numbers are like the quantity of that item as well. So yeah, you can't always rely on that. Right, have I just looked at that one? I have. So I'm happy with these. Push them through. And then we've got some more here. Love it when it shows the VAT. Perfect. And what we want to make sure, which this invoice doesn't actually show, which I hate, but I can sort of see, what you want to see is a split, right? So we want to be able to split things as much as possible into granular detail. So for instance, if you owned a restaurant, let's just chuck it out there, restaurant, right? You're going to want to see whether you bought cleaning products or food. You don't want to just see the total, right? We need to know, we need to separate things, we need to really get in granular detail. How are you going to grow your business without having those figures, having the details, the data in front of you? If you lumped it all to say food, it's wildly overestimating your food. Maybe it's only a tiny bit, but what if you did that tiny bit on all of them? It's not then going to be accurate. You're not then going to have the data to be able to grow your business accurately in your mind, if that makes sense. So it might seem really small and really menial, but actually it makes a huge difference. If you ever see a Z, it means 0 rated. This does not mean no VAT. No VAT and 0 rated are actually totally different. Sounds ridiculous because isn't a 0 like no VAT? Yeah, no, because technically one day they could change 0 rated to be like, they could change 0 rated to become 5%. And then no VAT is still no VAT. 0 rated becomes 5% rated, or you know what I mean? So yeah. Cool, I'm happy with that. Have a look at this one. Have a look at this. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. What you'll find is a lot of like food and drink, if you're buying it straight up, will not have, well, let's more say food, will not have VAT on it. If you're obviously going out to buy food from, say, Costa or wherever, that will have VAT on it because they've added some value on it by heating it up or making it this or making it that. So that's why when you go to a restaurant, if they're registered, it will include it because they've added the VAT, like value added tax, right? They've added value. As crazy as that is, there used to be this thing this big debate where it was like, is it a biscuit or is it a cake, right? And it would basically depend on like how much sugar is in the product, whether, how it would be taxed. So yeah, I find it quite interesting. I'll try not to bore you too much. By the way, if you can do one of these, I will be very happy and it will make my day. Because yeah, I've never had one before. This is my first ever TikTok live here, and it's not my first ever live here, but yeah. Right, make sure that the VAT is shown on that one, which it is. Lovely. What are we buying? Sometimes you look at things as an accountant or as a bookkeeper and you go, oh, what's that person buying? Why are they buying that? You get like a real insight into other people's businesses, which is just really cool. But it also makes you think really differently because you literally see the ins and outs of other people's businesses. And obviously there's huge confidentiality around it. Some companies do not tell you what they do. I'm like, what are you? This is okay. I know what you are. That's fine. Cool. So once you've smashed through some of your bookkeeping, when it loads, just bear with me a second whilst it loads. I'll let it just do its thing whilst I track some of my time. Oh, only a second now. Whilst it's doing this, let's have a look at that. Cool. Sometimes they don't always give you supplier names, or people write on pieces of paper, which drives me absolutely mad. But it's fine. Okay. Now, before we carry on, I am going to now go into Xero. So I want you to go in and open your accounting software. So let me know in the comments what accounting software you are on, please, please. So all you got to do is comment, Just put 0, put QuickBooks, free agent, or put no accounting software if you don't have accounting software. I forget Sage because I don't really like Sage, but I didn't say that. La la la. So let's have a look. Has anybody told me? No. Come on, people. It's my first ever live. You've got to be able to put what accounting software are you using. I can see you there, and you're not allowed to leave. I'm totally kidding. Right, we're going to go into your accounting software, whatever you're using, and I want you to go into your bank and look at what is unreconciled. So let's have a look. What is unreconciled? So go into your first bank. You might have multiple. And let's have a look at what is unreconciled. So you might have things coming up from this month. Fantastic. Let's get them all ticked off as much as we can. You want to check, are the dates correct? Are the amounts correct? Are we paying the right people? So let me just make sure that I always set my timer so that I know how long these things have been taking me. And just go through. Can you set up any bank rules for anything on your bank? Now, bank rules, I would suggest if you're VAT registered, are only for the no VAT stuff. Do you have items that are moving from one bank to another, like transfers? Can we allocate any of those? You might want to refresh your screen. To see what's appearing. Okie dokie. So we've done everything I can on that bank. Let's have a look on your next bank. If you're still on the first one, that's fine. Just carry on plodding through, trying to make sure that things are as clear as possible. Remember, if you've got insurance, it needs to go through as exempt. So you might not worry too much about an invoice. And just make sure you're really happy with everything. Right, next person on my list. I like going down in order. I'm going to skip. Why is that like that? Some people I'm like, why is your bank so low? It's fantastic. It's probably just because we are completely on it. And that's number of transactions unreconciled as well, which is always fantastic. Hi guys, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. So what we want is to make sure, obviously, if sales are coming through and you're VAT registered, that your sales are all being coded you should have an invoice relating to that and then sort of match them off. If not, you can code them directly, but please make sure that there's 20% VAT on there. And make sure that if you're coding anything without an invoice or receipt, that you're not putting VAT on it, because you need the invoice or receipt to be able to claim it back. So, as far as I'm aware, there's no VAT. Fantastic. Reconciled. I love that. Cool. So we're absolutely onto a winner with that one. And let's just check. Yeah, that was the only bank, which is amazing. Lovely. So we can tick that off. Sorry, did I miss something popping up? Thank you for all joining. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So I'm going to keep giving you tips to try and get better and better at your own bookkeeping and feel a little bit more in control. So let's head in. You're probably still into your reconciliation, and let's have a look at what things might be coming up for you. Also, if there's personal expenses on there, if you're a limited company, you need to put them through into your director's loan account. And if you are a sole trader, you need to be thinking about them basically being put down as drawings, because technically that's you personally spending. Right. So they are not what I want. That's not what I want. Let's make sure my app is doing what it needs to be doing. It sure is. Okay. So remember, money in, we need to make sure it's got VAT on it. We need to be checking the dates. Do we have credit terms? You know, do we have 30 days and therefore that's why there's a 30-day delay? Or do we pay things immediately and we would expect it to be paid on the day? Or a few days after, maybe? What's the general rule that you apply? Have you got a Stripe deed, in which case some of your transactions will go to Stripe? Do you have special banks coming in? So there's all sorts of banks that you would use. And remember, are you a sole trader or a limited company? Is the money coming out going to be drawings, or is it going to be director's loan? Is the money a personal payment and therefore it's just going to go down as drawings? If you're a sole trader, please tell me that you've separated your bank into into a personal account and a business account. Please do not mix them, because that's really horrible. Have you got pensions? They will need to go to pensions payable. With your sales, do you raise invoices? Or do you not? And if you don't, what kind of information do you have about those people? Wages, remember, need to go down as wages payable. And then you need to have journals for your wages as well, which a lot of people forget or just don't bother doing in the first place. You might have a Stripe feed itself, so you need to code things to the fees, and then you need to code things to your sales account. Sorry, I'm trying to do it at the same time as explaining it. So, what items are sales? What items are the fees? If you've got invoices, how are you going to split that? Are you going to categorize it after the transaction or before? As long as you keep a consistent method, a lot of the time, there are better ways of doing things. But the main thing is consistency. You don't want to be doing something 1 month and then something else the next. It just doesn't make sense. Let's have a look. So you want to be making sure that we're getting ahead, everything's coded to the correct places. If you don't know where to code something, let me know. Let me know the exact thing. Ask me any questions and I will help you. But the whole point is making sure that every single transaction is coded to the correct place. What you should then be able to do is open up your profit and loss, your balance sheet, and everything make sense, be up to date. It's funny when things are literally happening in real time as well. I'm like, why did that not reconcile? And it's because things are literally happening. This is what I mean by live statement data. It literally is live. Another bank is down to zero, reconciles fully. I mean, that's Stripe, so you would expect it to come back to zero once it's paid out. Don't panic. If it doesn't come back to zero, it's just because there might be a payout that's outstanding or different fees that are outstanding, all sorts of things. But the majority of the time, if you've had a payout, it should go back to zero. And if not, there's just an off balance there. Something's gone through, something might have been coded incorrectly. Something might have been like marked as reconciled, like little things like that can make a huge difference. So yeah, let's just have a quick check of the bank again. Sometimes obviously transactions across accounts can make quite a big difference. But no, we've already done most of what we need to do, which I'm really happy with. And now we can go on to our next thing. Remember to ask me any questions whatsoever, and I will make sure I answer them as best I can. Just trying to remember as well, some clients we don't do their bookkeeping for. Most clients we do bookkeeping for. And that's quite nice because we can then sort of really be on top of things. There's nothing better than just being like totally all over it. Remember to keep those emails down as well, like as they're coming in. I don't normally have my emails open so that I can keep seeing them. It's normally just in one go, but for now, right, let's have a look what we've got in here. So we've got bank transfers. Lovely. So what we like to see is we like to see it on Xero when it goes green because it's saying I've got an invoice for that. We're triple checking everything. We also want to see, and this is what I do want to see, I want to see transactions between banks. So I know this might sound silly, and it does depend, because if you're on Starling, you'll just have pots, and technically on Xero, you won't see the transactions between pots, because technically it's one bank account. So that is fine as well. But what I want people to be doing is utilising tax pots. Now, you want to have a VAT account, you want to have a profit account, you want to have companies, not companies house, corporation tax, etc., etc. So you want to have an account for absolutely everything. So make sure that you're having transfers between those accounts, and make sure that you're sort of setting things up in a way that works for you. So if you've got Nest going through, again, make sure that pensions are set up nicely. If you have employees, you need to offer a pension. You have to go through auto-enrollment. There's so many regulations around pensions. Please do not get caught out, because the fines are really, really big, basically. And you just don't want to be on the bad side of pension regulators. It's really easy when you know how, so it's just getting it set up correctly and making sure that things are as accurate as possible. What you also want to be doing is looking in your bills to pay and bills paid. And also what you want to make sure is if an account is completely reconciled, does it match? Because if it matches, perfect, I'm happy. If it doesn't, you need to look into the difference there. There's loads of people that say before they actually come to us, they're like, oh yeah, it reconciles, but the balances are totally off. And I'm like, that's not good. We need to look into that. Back in the day it would be because a check's not cleared, but nowadays we just really don't use checks. So I just don't see a reason for why things shouldn't be matching, kind of thing. So you always have to explore, why is it not matching? What's going on? Is there something I've missed? Whether that's in your bank account or your account transactions, there'll be something going on that isn't quite right. Ooh. Sorry, I'm not used to this. I've got a little thing. TikTok's like, verify that it's you. It's me, I promise. So okie dokie. Right, we are nearly there. We are almost nearly there. It's so lovely keeping on top of your bookkeeping as well. It's just, yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this next client. And you want accounts for everything you've got, whether you've got credit cards, Amex, Capital and Tap, like whatever it is, you want to be able to have every single account set up on your accounting software, because that's super, super important. And if you're making notes, if you're on Xero and you're making notes for your accountant, you want to be using the discuss section. So it says match, create, transfer, and then it's discuss section. So you want to type in there what it is. Please do double tap, guys, people that are still here with me. Please just double tap screen just so you like it. It doesn't cost you anything, but it always makes my day. So when we are coding fast and we are looking for VAT, we want to be thinking about all sorts of different things. For instance, let's find a good example. Oh, I know why I can't see most of it, because you need to show your whole screen. Make sure I can see everything. Okay. So we want to be looking at, is there anything that doesn't have VAT, basically? So if I'm looking at petrol, do you have a vehicle through the company? If you don't, if you don't have a vehicle on your fixed asset register, you shouldn't be putting petrol through, because you should be putting mileage claim through, basically. But I can do a whole video on that explaining. So for instance, a really good one is TFL, although this, yeah. So basically with TFL, like you would have, how do you explain that? It's basically transport for London, right? So what it means is that it's transport. Well, most transports do not have VAT on them. So for instance, the only time it would is if it was like freight. So if a business books like a ferry, so basically I live on the Isle of Wight, so we get boats everywhere, as standard. So then you might think, right, well, it could or it could not have VAT on it. But most of the time, you're going to be in the position where it doesn't have VAT on it, because you're just traveling across. And also, if it's a passenger ferry as well for a business anyway, it's not going to be freight. So again, it's not going to have VAT on it. But yeah, that's a little fun fact of the day. I thought I'd just throw out there. Also, HMRC payments are always interesting. Are these your personal payments or are they the business payments? So, yeah. Right, let me just stop that and let me double check. Got this stupid fly. It's really annoying me. Sorry. Right. So, what is next? Or should I say who is next? Okay. Do you know, our clients' bookkeeping is just on point. It's just amazing. Literally can't complain. I highly recommend mainly Starling. Monzo's pretty good as well, to be fair. What if you let me know down below what bank, like who do you bank with? And do you like them, or are they just okay? Do you buy Xero? In which case Xero is VAT registered. This client is not. Non-VAT registered people are actually quite easy with the bookkeeping because, as I say, we don't always need it. We don't always need like invoices as heavily as you would otherwise. You should still be keeping invoices for, I was going to say 10 years, 6 years plus current, so 7 years normally. But current means current tax year that we're in, basically. Where is this person's bookkeeping? Have I already done it for the month? Probably. Let's go and find it. This is how on top of things we are. It's crazy. I'm not bragging, I promise. Right, let's find this client then. So, yeah, we'd already done it. Amazing. Cool. That's that one done. Right, let's see what we can do with this one. So are you coding dividends to the correct dividend place? And are you providing invoices for everything else? If there's the word dividend in it, it should be picking up that it is a dividend. It is in fact a dividend. Right, let's have a look. The last page of this one. It's just triple checking as well. Is anything a personal expense? If there's any doubt, you need to triple check if it's a business, if it's a personal expense. And I want to be seeing invoices for anything that's not. Probably have bank charges. Probably got charges from your accountant. Some of which might not be VATable. So remember, and some of it will be coded differently. So remember to keep your personal and your business accountancy fees separate. Super, super important, because you can't put your own personal self-assessment tax return through the business, even if you need to do a personal self-assessment tax return for, like, because you have a business. You literally cannot put it through. There'll be some that you can get your hands onto. So for instance, sorry, got distracted there. There'll be some that you can get your hands on. I don't even know what I was saying. Brain. That's the thing, trying to talk whilst doing your work. Yes, there'll be some that you can put your hands onto. So for instance, if you always had, he had a phone bill that was through the business and it was always Vodafone and it was always 20%. If you can put your hand on all of them, you can code them and that is okay. But I just would triple check that you are 100% comfortable that you can put your hand on them at any time, kind of thing. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you can't and you cause yourself problems. So there's that. Right, let's have a look. Happy with that. Oh, I'm going to have a nice one here. I say nice. It's going to be one where I can actually reconcile quite a bit of stuff because I know I pushed through quite a lot on the receipt catcher, which is exciting. So as I say, we're checking amounts, dates, everything matches up. If it's insurance, it's exempt, just making sure that you're happy with what's going on. Making sure you're happy with your sales, making sure you're happy with the VAT payment to HMRC, it's going to VAT, things like that. Sounds silly, but it's really important. Making sure your sales go through. You don't want to open up a profit and loss to read your reports and, oh, by the way, you've got 100 items unreconciled on your bank. Like, even if you've got 20, they can all be your sales and then you're not going to read accurate figures. So it's really, really important that you go through this step before you go and look at your what do you call it, that before you go looking at your reports, basically. This is always a really good opportunity for me as well, because I see things where I think, oh, why are they paying for that? And then I have really, really interesting conversations with people where I say to them, by the way, did you know that you're still paying for QuickBooks even though you've got zero? Or by the way, did you know you've got this subscription going on? And it absolutely blows my mind the amount of business owners that absolutely have no idea that subscription was still going through. And I'm like, look at your reports, please. Because it blows your mind. You're just like, it's not even funny. So with our invoices, as us from an accountancy practice, we would never, ever, ever clump personal and business together. Even if it's just a self-assessment tax return, we just never will. You just can't do that. Even if you're a sole trader, you'll still have sole trader and your personal, even though sole trader is personal. It's still completely separate because the amounts coming through the bank need to be completely separate. It makes my job easier. It makes your job easier to understand what's going on. You're not then seeing us faff about with amounts or journals or any other scary, crazy stuff that does not make sense. It's all just lovely. Oh, this is just the most bliss stuff I'm going through as well. It's just everything's matching. Everything's lovely. I was just looking, thinking, I'm going to say everything's matching. It's going to suddenly stop matching, isn't it? But it's not at the moment. All is good. There's some things like Amazon you will always need invoices for. Like, no matter how clever you are, how much your involvement you have in your own bookkeeping, like, you should have the invoice for every single Amazon. We don't know whether it's a general expense, whether it's on printing and stationery, whether it's a tool that you've bought, or like whatever. It could be anything. It could be a piece of equipment. It could be whatever. So yeah, always keep receipts. You're going to have card fees coming through that you need to make sure are processed. Payroll's the most important, in my opinion, though. Like, the amount of people that don't reconcile their payroll and they just, I don't know, it just doesn't mean anything to them. And you're like, what? When you look at your profit and loss and when you look at your balance sheet, like, everything needs to make sense. You can't have like figures on there. Like, for instance, if you're not putting through, say, your journals, you're not matching off your reconciled items, who's to say that the amount's even going to be sat on your profit and loss? You're going to have amounts, for instance, not on So salaried amounts, or people get monthly amounts through their salary, right? They're just not going to show, and then you just forget. And I know you're not going to forget because you're going to pay these people, and in the back of your mind, but I want you to stop being a mind reader. I want you to stop thinking, oh yeah, well, I know. That's not good enough. It is not good enough. You need to know exactly. And you need to be sending in invoices at the time they happen. Like, I'm looking at some of these thinking, this should have been sent in the second it came in. Like, the second it came in, there's no excuse. If you get an invoice, snap a photo, forget about it for the rest of your life, bin it, do whatever you want. But these are habits that you need to get into. They're just so important. They're so underrated. So let's keep making sure these are sorted. Bank these. But yeah, payroll, top number one is the most important thing in my opinion, is payroll. Right, are we nearly there? We're getting there. It's looking lovely. It's funny how satisfying it is. Lovely jubbly. Got that down loads. And these things are really important if you aren't VAT registered, because we want to make sure that you can claim back as much VAT as quickly as possible, right? Because the reason I say it is because... Sorry, I'm just opening the next person. The reason I say it is because it helps with your cash flow. Hello! Oh, Rebecca! I didn't see you there. Yay! Thanks for liking it. And please like the live, guys. Just double tap it. It means the world to me, so thank you. But yeah, it helps with cash flow. You think about it. If something doesn't get put into this VAT return because you haven't been bothered to do your bookkeeping, or things aren't up to date, your accountant hasn't been able to do it because you haven't produced invoices or receipts, it's going to be a bit of a problem, right? It's called a late claim. So basically it will go into the next VAT return. But yeah, super, super, super important to sort of keep on top of things. If it does go into a late claim, it's not the end of the world. I mean, when people hear the word late claim, I know it can be really terrifying. But what I want you to think about is the fact that it is just you claiming that VAT back a little bit later than you'd like. But you think about it, if you're falling into quarters, you're then got to wait for another quarter. It's a lot of time. And it might only be a few pounds here and there. Sometimes it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. That's fine. But I would always suggest, if your accountant has a particular deadline, you need to be getting it in for that deadline for the reason of your VAT, to be able to claim back as much as possible. Also, even silly little things, and now listen to this, right? Even if it was based on your sales, if you weren't doing the bookkeeping for that, if things weren't categorized, if you didn't send in sales invoices, whatever it is, you're then going to have that VAT to pay next quarter, and it's going to come as a massive shock, and it's just going to be this awful thing. So again, another reason, soon as you receive income, 20% should be going directly into a tax pot. Nothing questioned, nothing else. Do you know what I mean? It should just be the norm. That is brilliant. It looks like you're just endlessly liking it, Rebecca, so thank you. I don't know if there's a bug or what, but thanks anyway. Right, let's go on to the next person. I'm really hoping to see some good bookkeeping here. Some clients, we know that there's certain situations going on, so obviously I'm using my judgment around things like that as well. Where's task for that. Okay. Let's open this up and get started. So as I say, in our industry, it's heavily around timesheets and things like that. So I personally am trying to do it myself. It's very, very interesting to find out where your time is being spent. So even if you're not in like an industry where timekeeping and like time tracking is a big deal or a big thing, I would actually recommend trying it, even if it's for a few days or a week. Give it a go and see how it works for you. But more importantly, see if like where your time is being spent, and see like if you can change. When you actually have data, they say you can't manage what you don't measure, right? So that's super important. Let's measure our time and then manage our time, because otherwise we can say, oh, I want to spend my time on this, but you don't really realize until you do it. So that's my fun fact for you. Just having a quick flick through. Some people, like, the only thing you can do is request information, like request more data, more, whatever. More invoices and receipts, please. I said this before, but if you don't already know, I am doing the 75 hard challenge. Hence why I'm down in water and crossing my legs, if I'm totally honest with you. But I'm really, really enjoying it. I've got this tiny little bit and 450 ml left in the kitchen, and then I'm done my 3 litres for the day. So thanks Katie. So I'm nearly there with my water. I was trying to smash out as much water early on, because I'm one of those people that leaves things till the last minute and then I smash it out. And I then suffer, because if you smash out water before you go to bed, you're going to be up all night. And that's what I normally end up doing. And then it affects my sleep. So I've tried to say to myself, right, drink as much as you can early on. So I completed 2 litres by about 11:30, I think it was. So I'm really trying to sort of get on top of it quickly. And then by the end of the day, I won't have too much to drink, and I'll be on to a winner. Right, who am I on to next? I'm on to the next client. Hopefully I'll have stupid fly. Hopefully I'll have a little bit, I can see the fly coming for me. Off you pop. But yeah, let's go on to the next client, because I'm hoping for a few more wins on this one. Oh, got about 8 bank accounts. Are we ready for this? So for those of you at home, I do a glass as soon as I wake up, and a glass before every meal. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I actually made sure I had about a bottle and a half before my first coffee. Now, normally I wake up, there's coffee and I drink, and that's my thing. I was like, actually, do you know what? I probably should drink water before the coffee. Yeah, it's not the best thing to do otherwise. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try and drink just water first, and see how it goes. I love a control account as well. Anyone is doing its thing properly, don't worry. Cool. I'm always just mentally checking, like, do we do this person's bookkeeping? There's nothing worse than doing somebody's bookkeeping and being like, oops, sorry, you don't pay me for this. More annoying for me, great for them. They're like, no problem. But yeah, loving it. This is going really well. So yeah, things like Xero, if you obviously know that it's already got VAT on it, you can push it through as 20% as long as you're making sure that you obviously can put your hands on the invoices when requested. There's nothing worse than saying it's got 20% on it. Like, I don't want a client coming to me and saying, it's definitely got 20% on it. Like, you should be able to prove it really, really quickly. I love that, Kaylee. Brilliant. So this is looking good. I love it. Love it. Right, let's have a look on another bank. What have you managed to get done today? What's your biggest accomplishment? What do you need to get done? You know, what are you maybe procrastinating on? I love that. Even my TikTok live is like, don't forget to take a break. Break? What is this thing you speak of? Right. Let's have a look. So many bank accounts. How is it going? Receipt lost. Oh no. You're not going to get the VAT back, are you then? Silly Billy. If only they could hear me behind the scenes. You silly Billy. Right. It's looking lovely. I just love it when you look at somebody's accounts and you're like, yes. Other people, you're like, stop spending money. But on this, you're just like, yeah, you're doing really well. I love a super organized chart of accounts as well. Now, if you don't know what chart of accounts is, it's basically loads and loads of codes that we want to make as personalized as possible for you and your business, so that it actually makes sense when you look at a P&L and you're not just going, why is there 4,000 in general expenses? Like, it just means nothing to nobody. Nothing to nobody. Anyway, my computer is like, as some people on my team would say, it is lagging. I feel like that's a really gamer's term. There's a real lag on it. But it's really slow. Like, I'm pressing on stuff and it's just like, it's painful. It's because it knows I've got loads of transactions that I'm very excited to click on. And it's just like, Hi, Olivia. It's so nice, actually, like, doing it across different platforms, because you get different people asking different things, and I love it. Definitely not going to last much longer on here, though, if I am drinking well. Let's have a look. I'm still like click happy, which is fantastic. I'm not complaining at all. Question is, how many people can I get to actually follow me after this live, or like during the live? Because I started a live today with less than 1,000 followers, and I thought you always had to get to 1,000 followers to be able to do a TikTok live. And I'm so sorry over here for the Instagrammers and the YouTubers and people on LinkedIn. But I'm just, yeah, it's all new to me, the whole TikTok world. So it's very exciting. Cool. Things are looking beautiful. Oh, it's just do you know what? I went through a stage, obviously, in the business of like, we're growing and we still are growing, but like things were so hectic, and we've recently started to get like back on top of things and like really, to be honest, ahead in those ways. And it's really nice to just be able to sort of, even though I'm not going slow, but to slow down and do bookkeeping and to say to yourself like, wow, this is amazing, this is great, like how are we going to get more of this? To see people actually taking on our feedback as well. It's 800. What? To go on TikTok live? It's 800. I've missed out on the past few weeks. I love it. That's so funny. I'm sure, by the way, this like, I never know whether it's the hard 75 or 75 hard. It's 75 hard. I'm sure it is. I'm sure this is like giving me more energy already, to be honest, because I just feel full of energy. Like, I don't normally drink. I need to take like I was going to say a body pick. No, I need to take like a progress pick, and I need to actually do like weights, like strength training or something, you know. Absolutely dread going into a gym, but I think I enjoy it once I'm in there. Maybe I'll make myself. It's only down the road anyway, to be honest. There's no excuse. I'm going to make a fresh dinner as well tonight. What am I going to make for dinner? What have you guys got for dinner tonight? Come on. Tell me what you got. I know you're there. What have you got for dinner tonight? I was going to make a cottage pie, but I didn't get the meat out. Rookie mistake. I've got lamb. Oh my goodness. I'm on too much of a strict budget to be able to have lamb. Lamb is delicious. Lamb is what I'll have like when I go to my mum's. She'll make like a beautiful lamb shank. And, oh, that does sound good. That stupid fly. It was in here all night last night. Sorry, just working through AML risk assessments. Love it. I need to go through a few more actually. That's part of our job as accountants, is just making sure you work through things like AML, which is anti-money laundering, if anybody doesn't know. So much fun. It's riveting. Have I put my timer on? Why can't I see it? No, it was in this bank. No, it was in this one. There we go. Sorry, I put my timer on now. You do not need to apologise. AML risk assessments are super fun. It's a little bit like bookkeeping, I guess. It's just like making sure that you put information in and making sure it all like spits out good stuff. You save everything. It's just admin, isn't it? I mean, I started this for intention setting and quick wins, and very quickly we got into bookkeeping. I'm really loving this. I feel so sad right now, but it is really fun. How do I know that is that? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that one. I definitely need to set up modular so that it's actually talking to my accounts correctly. So that's really cool. Oh my gosh, bloody fly. Don't know if you saw it almost land on me. Maybe it did, who knows. Go away, just like he's got the whole house to roam free. And he decides to just come into this one little bit, just where I am, just to annoy me. Right. What was that one that I like? Okay, I want to look into that. I want to look into that. That's not correct. Lovely. Right, we are getting somewhere. So, who is my next client on the list? Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Nice. Does this person pay for bookkeeping? Probably. Let me double check. Just cross that off. Why can I not see their name? Ho, they don't. Okay, no problem. That's good to know because I nearly did the bookkeeping. And then got to do my own. Oh my goodness, I've got to do my own stuff. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I've not got too much unreconciled. We'll soon be able to smash this out because I should be totally on top of my own invoices and receipts. Look at that sea of green. Lovely, lovely. Ah, yes. Look at that. Surprised how much is still there, but you know why that is? Probably because I haven't done my own receipt capture bookkeeping stuff. Let's have a look. Looks like I might have, but let's just double check. Oh, I've already got it. I've already got it up. Let's have a look at my own. Wait, I thought I was on it then. Okay, not got too much. Oh, these will be proposal software. Subsistence. Yeah, subscriptions, yeah, and IT. So you can imagine most of my job is spent on like IT costs, subscriptions, stuff like that. So let's just push those through and see if it helps in my bank rec at all. How is everybody's inbox looking? Have we managed to get it down? Right, let's have a look. Let's refresh the screen, see if those transactions are still publishing one. Come on. I'm too fast for it. There we go. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. Let's just refresh one more time just to make sure it's kicked in properly. Right, tickety tick, tickety tick. Surprised how much is actually still on there. For me, because I'm like, come on, Lucy. Right, I'll go through my own a little bit later. Let's make sure I put some time to my own. Then, who else we got? We haven't really got many other people, which is blooming lovely. So let's have a look at this person's. Okay, this person I've requested information off, and I don't think anything's been sent through. Let me just double check. Are we keeping on top of what inboxes? How's everybody's inbox looking? I don't know about you, but I'm still getting junk flying through left, right, centre. I'm unsubscribing. Still just trying to bat them away. Let's have a look. Is there anything else here? No. Right. How many bank accounts have we got in this one? Just the one. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right. We just have literally one client left, which is beautiful. And then I'm going to look at my approvals. So I don't know about you guys. I don't know how many of you on the live at the moment are managers, but it'd be really interesting to find out. I've got 4 that are about software that I need to review and 2 new ones to respond to tomorrow. I like how you said to respond to tomorrow. I like that because you've got to have boundaries with these things and know like how quickly you expect yourself to be able to respond. If we become really responsive to things, is that what I'm trying to say? Reactive, that's the word I'm trying to think. If we become like really reactive to these things, then it's not really any good. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting this person's accounts to be this lovely just yet. But it just shows if you've got a really good onboarding process, people can get on track pretty quickly. In fact, a lot of this is my work, I've just realised. But still, I'm quite impressed. Yeah, I've done a good job here. Let's have a look. Lovely, lovely, lovely work. I want to do something actually this afternoon where I go through everyone's accounts, like everyone's HMRC accounts, and review who owes money to HMRC, because normally it's not something we most people are totally on top of it, and it's great, but I'd rather get on top of it to make sure that if we need to nag people and really sort of mention it, then yeah, we need to get on top of that. Something I want to do to make sure that all of our clients are staying on top of it, and if they're not, they're getting that real support of like, come on, we need to get you on track. Lovely. This person's accounts are amazing. I know I went through the other day, to be fair, and sorted a load of these rules and stuff, but it's amazing. Let's have a look. Let me just check this client. I have a bit of head down work. Where is it? Oh, it's because they're a sole trader. Interesting. So I love it when I see something where I'm like, ooh, I can save you a lot of money. Mission accepted. Okie dokie. That's stupid fly. I'm not going mad, honestly. There's a fly. It's really annoying me. I was saying before, it's like one of those really slow flies that's just like messes with you. Okay, before I go mad with the fly, I am going to take a little break, maybe head off. I've just realised I unscrewed that because I'm used to my unscrew bottle, but I've got a little thing. I've hit the mode where I'm like, okay, I'm going mad now. I've done all the bookkeeping, feeling very on top of things, but definitely need a break. So thank you so much. It was nearly 2 hours I stayed on here, so 1 hour and 48 minutes. Completely powered through, smashed out loads of bookkeeping. And if you followed along at home, you should be really proud of yourself as well. These things do take a little bit of time, but we're gradually building on those financial habits. Thank you so much for coming along. Everyone who's joined, everyone who's commented and messaged along the way, really massively appreciate it. So thank you so much. And now I've got to work out how to end all of this. So bye-bye for now when I get out. I can pause, but how do I end? Let's just pause. Bye for now. I think I've worked it out. Bye. Super important. I'm going to be glugging away. I think this is my last little bit of water for the day, and then I would have had. Maybe I've got a little. Super important. I'm going to away. I think this is my last little bit of water for the day, and then I would have had. Maybe I've got a little. No, I've got another 500ml or 450ml in there, and then I would have done 3 litres today. So. Oh my goodness! I've just realised I'm still on live. No, bye. I can do it. You guys can too. If you don't already.